Hi guys, welcome back to Tips and Tricks, and in today's video we're going to be looking at landing, coming back in on the beach, on a Shorebreak beach, and coming in nice and safely. So as I said before in the launching in the Shorebreak video we did before, every spot is different and every Shorebreak is different, and it also changes at different points of the tide. An example of this is a spot Cabeza in Tenerife, where you can come pretty much all the way into the beach and jump off. At mid-tide, if you come all the way in, you're gonna knock the fins out your board with the rocks. And at low tide, it's sand, so it's super easy. So it changes a lot at different points of the tide at different spots. So same again, look at the locals, see what they do, and also ask them if you're a little bit worried, and that should give you a pretty good overview of the spot. Okay, so tip number one is speed. Basically, when you're coming into land, the more speed you have, the easier it is. It means you can sort of go over waves if you need to go over waves, or slow down. So make sure you're powered up when you're coming into the beach. The second thing is look around and time it with the last wave of the set. So if you're coming in with the first wave of the set and something goes wrong, the likelihood is there's a couple waves behind you that are going to mash you up a bit. So make sure you're on the last wave of the set. It means if anything goes wrong, hopefully you won't have any waves behind you. Okay, so you found the last wave of the set, you got some power in your sail. Now the main thing now is to stay behind that wave all the way in it till it breaks. Once it breaks, then you can step off your gear. That brings me to my other tip, which is don't jump off too early. Obviously this depends on each spot. Sometimes it gets quite shallow, sometimes it stays quite deep. But in a lot of cases, if people jump off too early, then they're putting themselves right in that danger zone where they don't want to be. If you jump off later, you're going to be safer, you're going to be able to actually walk on the surface, on the ground, and hopefully gather your gear in some way or form. So now we're going to look at how you actually sort of jump off your board and get your gear onto the dry land. So one technique I do, I'm on the back of the wave, it's broken, and what I do is I jump off the wave in between the board and the sail, and then grab the sail with the boom, and then with my hand grab one of the foot straps and walk up the beach. Now this can be a little bit daunting, with some people trying to jump off in between, but it's a pretty quick method once you got it. Now moving on to the second way, which I believe is the safest way of doing it and probably the easiest way of doing it. So this technique, I think it's pretty easy to get it around your head if you think about this one thing. Keep your front hand on the boom all the time. So you're coming in, front hand's on the boom, jump off on the side of the board, then with your back hand you grab the back strap. So you still got that front hand on the boom. At this point you got your sail and your board out of the water, and you could simply drag it up the beach. It's also pretty nice if you're thinking you're going back out again, everything's ready exactly where you want it to go back out. Now the third technique that I believe is a little bit old school, and I see less and less people doing it, is carrying it on the head. Now in no situation I've had to carry it on the head. Maybe in a couple of spots you have to do this, but I wouldn't recommend this at all. It's a bit of a difficult technique to master, and especially in a challenging Shorebreak, you don't really want to be faffing around and trying to get your sail on your head. Hopefully those tips are going to help you guys come in with all your gear intact, yourself intact, and then also ready to go back out and have another session. If you guys have got any other little ideas on what you'd like to see on Tips and Tricks, put it down in the comments, or give me or Lagoon Water Sports a message, and of course click the subscribe button below.